just be a little bit look at the geopolitical context of 20th century very rapidly. As the Nostra Aetate document, this is a document, it's a document of the Catholic Church, but this is very important for all religions because this is the only religion, I would say, made an official declaration about the interreligious dialogue, the interreligious dialogue in 20th century. Other religions are open to dialogue, but they didn't, really publish a document which could be, enlightening for all their faithful. Turning back Nostra Aetate number 3, when it talks about the relations between Christians and Muslims, it doesn't deny this past. It says, even though the second paragraph of number 3, you can find it easily online and the website of the Vatican. It says, even though there had been so many conflicts and I'm trying to translate the better way. Let's put it conflicts and quarrels, etc., etc. And it says this council invites both parts, in this case, Muslim Christians, to forget the past. It's a difficult task because the recent past, I will say the last, because for the humanity, we say recent would be some centuries, some two centuries. It had not been the best version of the peaceful coexistence. We know that very well. The change, I will say, is a result of the tragic events of the last 2 world wars, I would say, because all these efforts of dialogue actually started seeing this idea of brother and sister much more. It existed even also like a parenthesis, a constitutional level. Just remember at the end of the 18th century in the US and in France, when the republics were born, actually, one of the ideas was fraternity, brotherhood, just how to put together the citizens as brothers. And I didn't really because when we pick up the concept of brotherhood, fraternity, we can, find so many definitions and political concept, sociological concept, etc. I just try to focus on the religious aspect. But the idea of brother, even by the socialists first, the socialism always offered an idea that workers and people, in the labor area, who earn their daily income, working daily, and just using the material, touching the materials, and they are in a way brothers and sisters. We have different ideas of brother sisterhood, but for our case, this 2 tragic moments of those world wars and pushed especially the thinkers, and visionaries, and leaders of the Western world to find, I will say, that was the Immanuel Kant's dream, in a way, a perpetual peace. For instance, European Union, we usually look at the economic part, and usually they teach, that was the economic interest. It's not really true. The whole idea of European Union, if you look at this, the founding fathers of European Union, they were all really very religiously engaged spiritual people. And they would like to really develop an idea of brotherhood, at least in Europe. And let me give an example of how this human tragedy transformed into something more tangible, just to rediscover the brotherhood, to create a reconciliation. The Nostra Aetate documents of the Catholic Church, or so many other interfaith engagements in the post-war Western world in Europe, are so much related with the tragedy of Shoah, the Holocaust, that the totalitarian regime of the 20th century wanted to eliminate the whole Jewish people here in Europe. This idea actually, when the World War finished, and then the partners of this, interfaith engagement, and they also started making interrogation, especially Catholic Church, whether they had been really critical and resistant against this human tragedy. And that idea of Nostratatis just started with a reconciliation with the Jewish people. But why I'm just telling this example? Because when first of all, Pope John 23rd, the Pope between 1958 and 1963, just 5 years, he was kind of oldish Pope, but he started the Second Vatican Council, and he had the vision of writing documents about interfaith engagement. When he received, after all this human tragedy and people who claim to be Christians killing, exterminating the Jewish people, etc., when he received the first group of Jewish people here in Rome, in Vatican, he addressed them with a biblical verse, and which can be found in Quran in a similar way. He used the language of Joseph, the son of Jacob, when he met first time his brothers in Egypt, because his brothers could not recognize him. He was so much changed, become minister, etc. And he said, "I'm Joseph, your brother." Pope John 23rd received these people with this verse. He said, "I'm Joseph, your brother." He attempted to reconcile with Jewish people through idea of brotherhood. And the idea of brotherhood, which is based on reconciliation. So I think why it's become so relevant, this is my personal interpretation, because the geopolitical context of 20th century urged leaders to find ways in which we don't really, because the calculations of economy, political calculations, and the balance of power, etc. They really failed, and they wanted to understand how can actually relate people to peaceful coexistence and reconciliation. And I think that was one of the ideas. Not everyone else, as you have already observed, still not everyone else is embracing this idea, but it's becoming more and more relevant.